We're on another stop with the 48 State Tour with Atlas Preservation. This is going to be a great cemetery to work at in Wheeling, West Virginia. This is the Old Stone Cemetery. Some really beautiful stones that are here. Typically you see a lot of marble stones, but we're going to do some granite work today. Really big turnout that we're expecting here, so it should be a really great day to work on these stones.
My name is Glenn Elliott. I'm currently mayor of Wheeling. This is my wife, Cassandra, and our new son, Harrison. And Harrison's middle name is Reed, and that is drawn from this family name Reed here. My great-great-grandfather, Hiram Reed, married my great-great-grandmother. She was born in 1826, he was born in 1827. They were buried here when they passed away around the turn of the century. Their son is over here, is Hiram Reed Elliott, born in 1862. Was buried here in 1938, and their wife, Mary Emma. These are my great-grandparents, and for our son, we chose the middle name Reed. I didn't really like Hiram, so we went with Harrison, which is another family name, so it was Harrison Reed Elliott. I never met these great-grandparents, of course. I was born in 1971, so they were already long past, but I knew that this was, Stone Church was the church they attended before it was torn down, and this was the family cemetery for years. There's a lot of sort of Elliott's and different family members sprinkled throughout. So I've been sort of wanting to get this monument straightened up for years because it's clearly leaning right now, and you know, I drive by this road a lot, look at it, and so when I heard this workshop's going on, I thought I gotta stop by and see if we can pick up some tips on how to get this done. Appreciate you guys being here.
You can see it obviously was broken and repaired once, but if we come in and look at this, this is not stable. And this repair here has also failed, okay? So I'm just trying to point that out. There are a lot of monuments here that are potentially hazardous. Just because they're standing up and down doesn't mean they're bonded or fastened or structurally sound. You can see right through this large capstone, and I think you can probably catch that angle, and you can see that it's only sitting on 4 points right now. But it's quite interesting that none of the pieces have shifted. Just shows you how effective the little lead strips that it's sitting on are. Sometimes they would use lead around the whole perimeter, other times they would join it in different ways. And it's a beautiful red granite, really well carved. The lower base is obviously a different color, different material. Came in and looked close. This is a dangerous monument. This is the angle you're going to see the most significant lean. And then I came up here and just took a quick look, and this is not connected at all. Wow. Very unstable. It would be nice to join this. However, it's not safe to join unless we can level it. We're going to take a closer look. The first thing we can do a little real careful excavation, see how deep the base goes. Another couple interesting elements I could just mention is that this was all polished in one piece, and then the system is they removed the polish in certain areas, creating the contrast. This monument probably dates from the either very late 1800s or early 1900s, like maybe they put it in 1913. Each stone represents an individual object, and obviously it represents the people who lived first, I should say. But what's left that we see is this, you know, monument, something that was created to memorialize them. There's other forces that are unpredictable because sometimes the graves will settle much later, and it's hard to predict the shifting of the overall landscape and the topography. You can see on this one the lead they put around the whole perimeter. That's called lead wedge, and it's perfectly leaded. I mean, this has not moved like 1/100 of an inch since they installed it. Other than the cleaning on the upper, portion especially, I mean, it's in perfect condition.
What was the purpose of the lead?
So it would create like a seal. It would stop it from shifting. It was the traditional mating material on granite. Here's a big, impressive marble monument. Tremendous amount of uneven weathering on this side. The sun is hitting this right at a raking angle. And if you look on this side, look at how irregular the surface is. They call this veining. And what's happening is it's wearing unevenly. This is the base. We're going to get a good bite on it, probably about an inch, inch and a half. Key point here. We need a fulcrum point low. You can see how the stone has uneven weathering occurring, and these lines are called veins. They're veins of calcite. That's a harder mineral within the stone. It's kind of indicating how much is weathered. You see they put a replacement plaque on here, and that's out of granite. We want the blocks to be really close to the bottom of the bar.
The stone church was originally located on the knoll over in that area right there, the original stone church. It was a Presbyterian church. They did not have a full-time minister at the beginning because the settlement was way too small for that.
Now we would start to get gravel under it.
This was part of a big plantation that was owned by Moses and Lydia Shepherd. They donated this land for the church, and both Moses and Lydia are buried here. Moses died in 1832 in a cholera epidemic, and Lydia remarried.
Tripods do two things. They go up and down, okay? That's all they do. It's a sequential process. Whatever we do, it's going to get drawn up. And so we're not going to lift this in one lift.
She remarried Daniel Kruger. Back in the day, they first met under a tent and then built a fairly substantial church out of stone, which is how the name came.
Little blocks work really well. You don't have to worry about chipping it, and on a smaller stone, lifts it right up.
It was replaced by a brick church with some stone on it that was down over the hill, but when the interstate went through, that had to be removed, and the current stone church is still in operation.